All right, Ashley Adamson and Yogi Roth. And Yogi, we are going to have 4 new head coaches in the Pac-12 next season as the coaching carousel continues to spin. Mario Cristobal, after 4 years as head coach of the Oregon Ducks, is headed back to his alma mater to take over the head coaching job in Miami. So I ask you, your reaction when you heard the news?
I'm kind of split, to be honest with you. I think we all have to remember that these are human beings that are head coaches, right? And he clearly has a lot of people that he loves and adores in Miami, and he played there, began his coaching career there as a GA. I mean, there's so many storylines with him going back home. And then you look at where his home was in Eugene, and let's remember, Willie Taggart left after a year, and it was the players that went into Rob Mullins, the athletic director's office, and said, we want Coach Cristobal. And I've talked to him throughout the season, Ash. He talked about how much he loved this team and how excited he was not only for this year's squad, but next year's team. I mean, this thing is built to go. I mean, the way he's recruited, the numbers speak for themselves in terms of all the talented players he's brought in from all across the country to Eugene to get that program to turn into a machine. 3 straight Pac-12 championship game appearances, won 2 of them. So I'm torn because he built something that could have been sustained. And then I also get like the human side of it, of if we all have the opportunity to go home to a storied place that has been asleep for a little while. I mean, I played against Miami in the Big East. I played in the Orange Bowl back in the day. When that thing is rolling, it's hot. So I'm torn, to be honest, when the news comes out. But that is the era we're in college football. For all the fans out there, your coach probably isn't going to be there for a decade. It's just where the reality lies in today's landscape.
Yeah, there's very few situations like what we see with Kyle Whittingham over at Utah, somebody who's been there as long as he has. You mentioned some of the numbers. He won 2 Pac-12 titles. He went 22-1 at Autzen Stadium, 35-12 in 4 full seasons as the head coach. How will you remember what he was able to do at Oregon?
Well, he got it going again. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, you saw when Willie Taggart took over, it was kind of a mixed bag. You were curious what was going to happen with this program, right? It had just come off of an incredible run with Chip Kelly, and Mark Helfrich took him to a national championship game. Then they took a dip, and he got it back. I mean, what he did in LA in recruiting with the Cali flock, as they called it, with Kayvon Thibodeau, company going up to Eugene, spurring other huge programs, whether it was Noah Sewell or Justin Flo, when they're beating Alabama and Georgia and huge teams around the country to go get players. So I think I'll remember that. The aggressiveness that he had on the recruiting trail was felt by all. I don't know if it was liked by all, but he definitely made his presence felt in the recruiting, conference that the Pac-12 is with all the talented players. So I think I'll remember that. And then I think when I talk to players, everybody I've talked to loves the culture that he built there and established there. And I think it's going to be reminded of the players now that he's no longer there that the program is not just about one head coach. He would say that as well. It's about the sustainability of the men that walk into that weight room and that locker room on that practice field and all the numbers that are retired and celebrated and go win awards like the Herberts and Penei Sewell and Kayvon and company. So I'll remember that. Like, he got him back onto a national stage. And I think, in my opinion, there's so many candidates, I've already heard from many, that want to continue to keep it on the national stage. And I think whoever Rob Mullins and company select will do just that.
Yeah, I'm sure Rob Mullins' phone is ringing off the hook as we speak. Well, Yogi, appreciate your perspective as always, and thanks for the insight.